Okay, it's 12 minutes past 1 from Adaba 88.9 FM, and it's Pains, Love, and Family. It's a beautiful Friday, and we usually have hot topics every Friday, and usually we have full house. But today, the house is not full, but don't worry, we are going to make it a very, very productive and enlightening time for you, lovers of this program and this dial. Dimeji is unavoidably absent, but I am here. Munin Konlao Gidon is my name. Thank you for choosing to be with us this beautiful Friday afternoon. Now, have you ever heard the word puberty? And what does it mean to you? Because this is beyond the definition that the biology give to it, or when you get down to Google or your dictionary or what have you to check. But I was able to put together puberty is that time in life when a boy or girl becomes sexually mature, and it is a process that usually happens between ages 10 to 14 for girls and ages 12 and 16 for boys. It causes physical changes and affects boys and girls differently. So that's where we are going to start from. I am not alone on the program. I'll describe her as a counselor. She has had several interactions and interface with both parents and children at different stages. She is Mrs. Yinka Odedili. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you, presenter. Listeners at home, good afternoon.
Okay, first of all, defining beyond the definition of puberty, let's look at, let's start from what you should look out for. I know it differs girls and boys. The amazing thing is, as a parent, you went through that stage. So for me, I find it difficult when raising a child. You do not know that this child is reaching the puberty stage. But for the sake of clarification, let's get down to those signs that you should look out for when your girl or your boy is reaching the puberty stage.
Thank you, presenter. Coming up stage by our children, both boys and girls, is something that the parents should be very, very conscious of. When you have a girl child with you at home, you know that definitely at about age 10, puberty stage will start coming in. But I want to tell you that nowadays, the age of starting is even coming down, probably because of what type of things we are eating. So development is changing. The age is coming down. You now see girls starting the puberty stage at about 8 years. That's why you can see a girl of about 12 getting pregnant nowadays. It wasn't like that before. So as a parent, especially the mother, you should be on the lookout for physical changes. Like you see your daughter of about age 9, 10 coming up, scratching the nipples, touching it occasionally. Then you need to ask to know what type of feelings she's having. The same time, your boy will be coming up with some physical appearance, building up the body. Some flesh is coming up in some areas. And at times you see this boy with a small knicker on, she's holding on. He is holding on to the penis. Definitely something is changing there because the penis at maturity is developing to be a man. So puberty stage is a stage of moving from childhood to mature age, especially sexual maturity.
Okay, now beyond the breast and probably the sign of period coming in and all of that, there are other things to look out for, especially for the girls.
Yeah, the girls, some pimples, spots,
will
be coming up on her. then she's developing some curves. That will be, yes, the hip is coming up. You will see her even being conscious of what she looks like. She's building up, the breast is coming up, she has a penis. Even at times, occasionally, some flushes from the vagina. That will be embarrassing to her. But if you are a very conscious mother, when you are seeing that signs, you call her, you educate her, you let her know that these are the things she's expecting to go into maturity. Because if you don't do that as a parent, somebody else will do it for her outside. Especially when menstrual period is setting in.
Let's talk about this menstrual period thing. A lot of parents do not even have that consciousness to say or to educate their girl child about it before it comes. I remember my own experience. I just saw my period. I wasn't told anything was going to come. And I do not want to believe that that's what's still happening in the society now. But a mother should be able to educate that child, the female child now, what your period is. Like, what age do you think the mother should introduce that to the girl child?
Nowadays, I want to tell our mothers at home that should start at about age 6. Even at that time, you should be telling them mode of sitting, mode of talking. You know, some children, when they are growing up, they will love to shout. But as a girl, you don't shout before you get something.
Okay.
The feminine aspect of it, she should be tutored on how to use it, on how to model it, on how to do it so that she will be there and be able to stand.
Let's get a bit practical.
Yeah.
Let's assume I'm your 6-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the issues our parents or our mothers have is the right words to use to communicate. Because you feel that this girl is young. She may not understand what you're saying. So let's get practical now. I'm your 6-year-old daughter, and you want to communicate to me about my period. What are those things you would say to me?
The first thing is you let the girl know that neatness is very, very essential for her life. Mothers in those days, though they were not educated, but they even start telling us ways of sitting down, on the fact that our panties should always be on, and that if you see anything, please come. That is why our mothers should give their children freedom to be able to talk to them, to be able to let them know what they are experiencing or what they are hearing outside. If you think your girl of 6 years old is not hearing anything about menstrual period, it's a lie. Because even in the school, there are some people that are talking about it to them. So you now let them know that as you are growing up, there are certain things that you say. And especially when you're talking about these sexual organs, the idea of telling your girl child, sit down, that's your toto, or whatever slang they are using. Let a girl know that vagina is vagina. Let a boy know that penis is penis. That when you're having any hair coming up in your penis area, it's a sign of development. Don't be embarrassed. Just let me know. I will tell you. And you let them know that when they're bathing, it's not all soap that is to use. And that if there's anything like that flush that I said the other time, if they see anything, give the girl child, give the boy child a listening ear. If you give them a listening ear, they are free with you. They'll be able to tell you whatever they are experiencing. Then you let them know that at a certain stage, when your breast is coming up, don't just go there and be doing anything or telling anybody outside that I'm feeling some scratches. Come back home, tell me. You see some things coming down from your vagina, please come home, tell me. Don't tell an outsider. So the girl will be free with you. We know, at least we see deep love, the mother's love from you.
Okay, now I want to also ask, what is normal and what's not normal in this puberty discussion? For instance, is there a stage between the mother and the child and the daughter? We're taking it one after the other. The female child now. What's that thing that is not normal that you look out for during the puberty stage?
In a situation when you see a girl, you look at the physical appearance and she's not, building up.
Especially at that age range that you said.
Because building up at that age is rapid, more than the childhood stage. You need to ask yourself, is the girl being fed rightly with the right content of food? Not a matter of are you filled up, but the right content of food, the right type of behavior, the right type and ways of taking care of herself as a girl. You should let them know. But if you don't let them know, you may not be on the right track of tutoring them on what they are expecting and how they should live with it when it comes.
Okay, but you were saying earlier that you mentioned that when the girl child is growing, the mother needs to be aware. She needs to be on the lookout.
Conscious.
She needs to be conscious.
Yes.
Should it be for the girl child? And how is it now the rule? Are we shifting the puberty teaching to the man when it comes to bringing up the boy child, or it's both the role of the mother and the father, or you are splitting it because of the gender differences? Now you're saying the mother should take care of the girl child, the father should take care of the boy child.
No, the two, the father and the mother, should take care of the children equally. They should show them love, but there are certain things that the father will not even be involved with the girl. Yes. It doesn't matter when the girl is in menstrual period, the father can give money for the pads or for things, but not to the point of wanting to check on that. Because we're having a lot of evil things happening now, but we still have reasonable fathers that are loving and that are doing things right. But it's for the two.
Okay, for the sake of clarity and making this very on point, we discussed some signs, and I guess in the house was talking, which we should know, the signs of puberty in the girl child. We talked about the breast development, then the hair, the pubic hair, and the hair, the
pubic areas.
Yes, and you talked about the curves coming out.
The curves will be coming out.
But really, I want to, I really wish that we could have a mother-daughter conversation, because what's the word now? Some parents, especially those who are not really educated, probably the semi-literates, may not be able to communicate, because that's the issue that we have in our society. A young girl should understand how her body works. A young girl you should be able to tell a young girl that you're coming into the puberty stage. These things you would expect them, like you rightly said. Now, I want to go back to that being practical thing. Let's talk to our parents, who should, probably some of them have these children growing up to the puberty stage now. What's the first level of communication you should establish, apart from saying that you should tell a child this, expect this, expect this, expect this? Now, what's the first level of communication you should establish with your child, especially your female? I'm concerned about the female child, because you were explaining earlier before we came on the show, which I know, that the female child grows faster than the male child. So when a female child is 10, 11, 12, she is already, her development is already in process than a boy who is 10 of the same age. Yeah. So the conversation between the mother and the child, what should it be like? What devoid of Like you were saying, don't tell her it's Toto, don't tell her it's this, devoid of all of that. What should this conversation of the puberty, because when you're coming into puberty, it's a sign that you're sexually matured.
Yes.
Now, I know that it's difficult for a lot of parents to teach their children sex education. Yeah? Mm-hmm. I'm correct.
You are correct.
It's difficult for a lot of parents. Now, we want to move beyond the sex education. Now, what's the primary thing that should be established so that we would not have a breach in communication? Did you get my question?
Yes.
Okay.
The first thing is love.
Between the mother and the child.
Mother and the child. If you are in love with your child and you let her know that you love, not the love of pampering, the love of you taking taking the child to buy ice cream, to buy all these things, but let her see the motherly love, that you really love her. Then if you see that love, then you now give freedom that yes, the child should respect you. The child should have some fear of you, of what she can do and what she cannot do. But that notwithstanding, let the child know that she has freedom with you as a mother. She can have love with you. That at any point in time, is there anything bothering him? Bothering him or even her? And is there anything he or she is experiencing outside? Let them know that you are readily available for them. You have the listening ear. Even when they're saying something that is wrong, you still listen to them. And after that, you will now tell them, this is the negative aspect of what you're saying, this is the negative aspect, and this is the positive one. If you go this way, yes, it will better your life. If you go this way, it will bring in something else that will not be palatable for your life as you are developing. Then your type of movement, where should you be? You are not expected to be known in certain area. You are not expected as a child, as even especially a girl child growing up, you are not expected to be moving with just anybody. That the type of friends you want to have, the mother should know. When your mother knows the type of your friend, we have a philosophy that says, show me your friend, then I will know who you are. If your mother is there to know your friend and you are able to tell her, you will be able to study such a friend, get some characteristics from it. Oh, this is the person that my child can move with. This is the person that my child can move. Then the boy child, you let the girl know that there is a limit to where they can just be with them. At any time that there's nobody, a matured person around to guide them. So your interaction with your child should be having a very in-depth foundational love with a good listening ear and care.
Okay, now another aspect of puberty that we seem to shy away from, I talked about it earlier, is the sex education part. So what's the fundamental problem? Should I have a girl growing up and forgets that she's becoming attractive to someone and not give her sex education and not allow her to tell me, or when I come home and say, Mommy, there's one boy in my class, Kunle, I like him, and then you tell her, shut up. Yes, that's what some of these parents do. You shut the child up. You do not want the child to be expressive, because that is the age where they begin to be conscious of their body. Like somebody is liking me, or when your child is going to school, the moment you notice that the way she attends to the neatness of her socks, there's a way I do my socks when I was younger, but there's that stage where you are conscious of the way you look. You can put your comb in your bag. Now, when a child gets to that stage, I know that the school should also have a curriculum that takes care of that. I do not know if that has been included in our curriculum, teaching a child puberty, sex education, and all of that. But from a mother to a child, shouldn't that begin from home?
Sex education should start from home. it should start from home. It is true that our parents are shying away from it, but it is strong and it is not helping our children to develop. Because by the time you leave all these trainings, all this sensitization for them
In school.
to get, even not in school alone,
Outside.
be outside, from friends, from classmates, from somebody on the street, or from an uncle that is living with you. Or, I mean, nowadays you see house help boys raping our girls, raping a young girl of 3 years, and so on and so forth. Even girls are trying to mishandle our children nowadays. So when you are taking somebody into your house, you should be very, very conscious of who that person is, how and when you should leave the child with such a person without you being around. Because somebody coming from a different community or a different family, you don't know what is inbuilt in such a person. So you just don't leave your child. You should be very, very cautious of where they are going, how they are moving, the way they are relating with people, and even what is coming out. And when your child is talking to you, for God's sake, as a mother, as a father,
Listen.
don't shout them down. That is why I continue to say that we should have listening ears. So you'll be able to tell them. You see, even proprietors of nursery schools raping puppies nowadays, taking them to toilets. But when child is there, they are going to school, there's a limit to the liquid you should give them. So that going to toilet all the time will not be too regular for that small girl or even the small boy, because the boys are also being raped. A lot of things are happening in our society now that were not there before, or the level was not as high as it is. I would not say that it's totally nil then.
Okay, away from all the talks, we need to take a music break. But probably you're just tuning in and you do not know what we're talking about. We're talking about puberty and its pains, love, and family. When we come back, we'll do a little talk on the differences between adolescence and puberty so that you do not get it mixed up. Then we're not just talking about the puberty and the girl child. We're talking about puberty and the boy child as well. And we made to say that the hair that is common to the girl is also common to the boy child. Then the coarseness in the voice, that's what do they call it? That voice that brings the man out of the boy.
Deep.
Yes, the deep voice begins to show. And then the muzzle, this thing,
to grow.
Yeah,
come up.
You get it. That's why it begins to. We're still here. We'll come back to do a little bit more education on this. It's still Pains, Love, and Family. We'll be back. Stay with us in just a moment. Okay, 22 minutes before 2, and it's still Pains, Love, and Family on Adaba 88.9 FM. We're talking about puberty and all that concerns it for the girl, for the boy, child, as the case may be. And I have Mrs. Yinka Odedele still with me in the studios this afternoon. Before we went on a break, I was saying that so that we do not get this mixed up, adolescence and puberty, there is a difference. Yeah. Okay, so what's the difference between puberty and adolescence?
Puberty has to do with physical appearance, biological changes to sexual maturity. Adolescent is the behavior, getting out of childhood behavior to the teenager stage up to adult stage. So your behavior in the society at that time is changing. Even you are trying to know what educational level I should go into, what am I to do, and the society is even coming in to influence the way you are living your life. So it's you now that we take a step, and with the assistance of the parents at home, that you don't allow the society to change you in adolescent age to the bad type of ways of doing things in life.
Okay, talking about the behavior now, let's talk about behavioral changes that parents should look out for in their children. behavioral changes, either in the positive or in the negative, that would make you begin to, that should put you on your toes.
Yeah. You have this young girl and boy at home. Yeah, before now, they've been, maybe whatever you're saying at home, it's okay. Thank you, ma. They will do with it. But at a stage, he or she will feel, I'm getting to an adult. Even you see children of nowadays, that old school, yeah, that's for those days. It's not for now. I'm matured. I can decide for myself. It is true, we say 18 is the mature stage, but Yorubas believe that you don't have the child until that day when the sand is put on you and you say bye-bye. So you tutor your child all through your life at whatever level he or she is. So that adolescent stage is a stage that a child will want to maybe give some actions to tell you that he's already an adult, that he can take decision. So you should try to tutor, educate him or her on why he cannot take certain decisions, why he cannot take certain steps. You have a child that is already maybe in the secondary school, about to enter the higher institution. You don't even know the people he's moving with. Peer education outside will turn him or her to what you don't want. So you should try to educate him or her on what he should be doing, the positive ways. Let him or her even know that your family beliefs, not I'm not talking of religion, either you are a Muslim or a Christian or a traditionalist, but there are certain things in the family that you will want him or her to showcase to the world, to let people know that yes, the family this person is coming from is this. And our own culture as Yorubas should be banned into our children. The same thing with the Hausa people from the Yorubas. Each of us have our own culture or behavior. Are we instilling it in our children? So not until when they get outside and behave negatively that people will be turning back that from which house is that boy or that girl coming from.
Okay, if I got you correctly, from the first thing you said, when your child begins to say, okay. Now, there's that stage where the child has his or her own views about things in life. But when your child at a certain stage where you expect that he should say his own view and he keeps saying, okay, you should watch out. Yeah? You
should watch out. That means you have not really given him the love.
For him to be able to come out
and talk to you.
The way I feel.
This is what I feel. This is what I'm experiencing. So
it's not every time you say do this and then the child does it. That's not a sign that you're raising a good child.
No.
Okay. That's one thing that parents need to look out for, really, especially when your child is growing up to that stage. Now I want us to come back to that point where we're talking about our school curriculum. When, after all being said and done at home, if we look at it, many of these children spend more time in school than they do at home.
Yes.
Do you think that the school, I do not know what especially the secondary school curriculum looks like presently, but I'm not sure if there is anything like...
I'm not also sure, but we should plead with our
Ministry of
policy makers on education nowadays that sex education should be part of what our children
taught in school.
Are taught in school. And we should ensure that the right counselors, that we even know who they are the people doing it. Because you will ask somebody to counsel a child, he or she may be counseling the wrong way. Because we have seen that.
Yes.
We have seen people that we call educators, that they are the one that are turning the children to the other way. So these are part of it. Let the people that have the right training be there to give these children the right sex education and what they should do.
Okay, you can also be a part of the show. The number to call 0816-251-9991. You probably have a question or you want to make your contribution as regards what we're talking about. 0816-251-9991. That's the number to call to be a part of the program so that we do not just keep on talking without hearing from our listeners as well. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Please move away from your radio sets.
This is Mr. Precious from Kabas.
Thank you for calling us, Mr. Precious.
So I just want to know the impact of children, the young man to the parents.
Okay.
Hello?
We can hear you. Please go ahead.
So for instance, now maybe you have a son that was initiated in his school and is not afraid of maybe complying to his parents. What do you think a child can do? What are the responsibilities of his parents to that issue, I mean?
Okay. If I got him correctly, he was asking if you're a parent who has a child who was initiated to something in school, what do you do as a parent, especially when the child seems to be interested in that thing and is probably not talking about it at home?
That is part of the foundational work of the parents at home. Definitely when a child gets out, he or she meets with different human beings with different characters. The fear of God
is
the first thing that should be part of your love when you are training your child at home. Let the child have the fear of God. You are going to church, your child is going to the beer parlor, or he's staying at home watching African Magic, watching all these films. And even at secondary school, I can't imagine a reasonable parent buying iPhone for his students, because we are seeing that now. And there are a lot of things they get from these iPhones. There's nothing bad you giving your child some things to bet, a very small something, and it's only even when such a child at a certain age is at home with you, not when going to school. So that's why I love some secondary schools nowadays. You cannot, as you are putting your child down at the gate, they're checking the boxes. Whatever they don't want in that school, please go back home with it. So the parents should instill the fear of God. Whatever religion you are practicing at home, let your child be involved. If the fear of God is in it, if he or she is being asked to go somewhere that is not negative, then he will know and will back out.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. What's the name, please?
Thank you so much for this program you are giving us this afternoon.
What's your name? What's your name, please? We want to
ask. Are you with me now?
Yes, I said, what's the name?
Mr. Felix from Puberty.
Okay, thank you for joining us. Go ahead, please.
Yes, concerning the last caller. The Bible says we should train our child the way it should go. When they grow up, we will not be departed from it. We have to train our children, lead them to God. Whenever they go, we have rest of mind that there will be no problem. And on the other hand, we continue to be praying for them all along. We should not leave them alone. And the Lord will take control. Thank you. I thank you so much for this program. The Lord will be in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you so much for that contribution as well. I do not want us to deviate. Okay, but basically this is also related to what we're talking about, because we're talking about puberty and the signs to look out for, how you should talk to your children when they are attaining that puberty stage, and the things that you should say, the things you shouldn't say. You shouldn't shut them down. You shouldn't shout them down, rather. And if you're just joining the show, you really have missed a big part of the show, but you can still be a part of it. 081-6251-9991. 081-6251-9991. That is the number to call to be a part of the program as well. We've talked about physical changes, and we've talked about that both in the male and the female. So, hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What's the name, please?
Mary.
Sorry? Mary, thank you for joining us. Please go ahead.
This topic you are talking about, it is always part of school curriculum, but most teachers do normally skip topic.
They normally skip the topic, you say?
Yes.
Why?
I don't really know.
Are you a teacher?
Before, I used to teach.
Okay.
So they don't normally teach the topic. They normally skip it. They thought it's something that they are supposed to teach students to something else.
Okay. But have you ever engaged any teacher to ask why they skip the topic?
I do have. They said it's just a need of teaching them morality or something.
Really? Really? Okay, Mary, I want to believe that those who need to hear this are listening. Why should teacher, if it's in the school curriculum, why should they skip
it.
the topic? Why? Not even in this present age that we're in, that even the children know more than their parents.
Yes.
If you like, you skip it. It's just better to teach them.
To teach them.
It's better to teach them, to let them know than we're going to do ourselves a lot of good by teaching them rather than hiding from this. But what would you say to parents who are not vast or who are not knowledgeable, who leave the teaching of the handling of their children to caregivers? How do you handle the puberty stage of those children?
Thank you, my dear sister. That is why I said that parents should create time, especially our mothers that are traders nowadays and our working mothers.
Sorry, I think we have a call. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Sorry? Hello? Yes, we can manage to hear you now. Okay, please go ahead with your contribution.
I agree with the last caller. And it's in the curriculum of the series. I taught them.
Okay.
I disagree that some teachers skip it.
Okay.
Curriculum.
Okay, but thank you so much for that clarification. I wouldn't know. Well, I don't want to side Mary, but she wouldn't say it's probably one person doing that out of many people, but I'm sure probably somebody did it and she had to go and ask why they did that. But someone is calling to clarify, to say that they do not skip the topic, they teach it, because he says he's a teacher. You're making a point, sorry.
What I'm saying is that any parents, be you a man or a woman, the moment you are a parent, God has given you assignment on those children. So you should know that if you fail to do this assignment, the judgment is there for the parents, because the Lord will surely ask for the blood of the children from you. It's just like even the counselor. You are in a counselor in a school. If you are not doing the right thing there, if the government is not even putting something there as punishment for you, surely the punishment from God will come. Because these children, they need us. They need our counseling. They need us to educate them. They need us to sensitize them on what life is and what they are expecting to do. So for a mother or a father to leave his or her young children in the care of just a caregiver because you want to go somewhere, even on weekends, some parents will leave their children at home without knowing what is happening to them. Most of our mothers will be in the market from 5 a.m. till 9 p.m. without knowing what is happening to their children. So at a stage, what you have left undone will be done by somebody else for that child. But surely it may likely end up.
Hello, good afternoon.
The negative side.
Good afternoon. What's the name, please? Sorry. Hello. What's your name? We can hear you. What's the name? Okay, you may have to call us back, but we're just going to take one more call before we go on the program this afternoon. It's been a very, very enlightening one, talking about puberty and the things to look out for, why you need to walk with your children. Let it be a journey. You're walking with your children through their different stages of life.
The parents should be working with them.
And she was making a point that you should not make it 18. You're on your own. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. You're our last caller on the show. What's the name?
Okay, I'm Philip on the line.
Thank you
I'm calling from Akure.
Thank you for joining us. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. There's one of these misunderstanding or one of these mistakes that our parents do.
Okay.
They expose their nakedness in the presence of their children, especially the opposite gender. The mother can decide to undress or dress in the presence of a male child. The other way around too.
Okay.
Those and all those things contribute to all this misbehavior and getting of bad attitude with all these children.
Okay.
So the parents should learn from that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. Your last caller on the show. Do you agree with that?
Well, I don't think it's even right for you to just be getting yourself naked before
Your children
all the time. And our parents that don't have big houses, when they want to meet, they should be sure that the children are not there. That's why we should always try. You know, in those days when our parents even use a room, they make sure that the children are sleeping, even in the sitting room. Maybe they just have 2 rooms at the sitting room. So the children will be in the sitting room on their mat, so that by the time their parents are doing this, they will not be there. So they will not think it is just something that can be done as part of practical things that can be done by the children. So they will think, you will even see children of nowadays, some siblings are practicing it because of what they have
seen their parents do.
But you educate them, you tutor them on how and why they should do this thing. You know, at puberty stage, the main boy is even having the penis coming out bigger and feeling erection at that stage. So you should be careful the way you tutor them.
It's been so much. Thank you so much, Mrs. Adedele, for coming on the show this afternoon.
Thank you, presenter.
So you are a parent, or I think the parenting and the teaching of the puberty, sex education, and all of that should start
from the home.
Yes, you should start from the home rather than push it to. Let's push it to the school right now. Next week will be another time on pains, love, and family. Another exciting topic and enlightening one will come. Don't worry. Dimeji will be here by next week, God willing. Moni Kola Ogidon is my name. Have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
No boring moment. No boring moment. No boring moment. Adaba 88.9 FM. Always on point.